We often associate the X-Men with Earth. They might not always feel at home on the planet, but they are from there. But did you know that not all mutants in the comics or even on the X-Men team come from Earth? Welcome back, Nerd Squad. It's me, Amanda McKnight, aka VampX13, and today I'm here to talk to you about one of my favorite topics, mutants. Join me as we count down the top 10 most powerful mutants not from Earth. What place would you most want to see some new mutants hailing from? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Jillian. Jillian was one of the members of Azazel's team of Neophem, demonic mutants who were trying to escape the hellish brimstone dimension alongside him. Her powers include flight and agility, making her a pretty perfect match for the X-Men's Angel. While Azazel's army was defeated by the X-Men and thereby remained trapped in the brimstone dimension, at least Jillian managed to survive the battle. Many of Azazel's other companions died in that fight. During that feud, Jillian also let slip the cheetah thing for Nightcrawler, but unfortunately for her, Kurt didn't seem too interested. Probably because of the whole evil thing, to be honest, you know? Also, to be real, she kinda looks like she could be a sister, I'm just being honest. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point it was revealed that Jillian had also been Azazel's child. We'll probably never see her again, but if we did, I wouldn't be surprised. And friends, before we move on to our next spot on this list, if you love what we do here at Top 10 Nerd, why not show us you love us by clicking that subscribe button? Seriously, it helps us out, it feeds the algorithm, and then you don't get to miss out on any good nerdy content. Number 9. Wolverine. Wolverine was once known by another name, or at least his body was, that of Wolverine. When Wolverine's soul was trapped in hell by Mystique and the Red Right Hand, a demon using Wolverine's body as a vessel, hitched a ride to Earth through it. This demon-possessed version of Wolverine wreaked havoc on Earth while Wolverine was gone, killing anyone who got in his way and targeting many of Wolverine's family and friends when it came to whom he decided to attack. Wolverine would eventually regain control over his body after battling his way out of hell and dealing with the demons that resided within his own mind. Number 8. Solem. Solem is actually one of my favorite of the new mutants we've gotten. He was created to act as a foil to Wolverine. Where Wolverine has an adamantium coated skeleton, Solem instead has adamantium skin. Although to be clear, Wolverine's adamantium is not innate, but Solem's is connected to his mutant powers. It is innate. I also think of Solem as a sort of replacement for Daken when it comes to how he lives his life and how he enjoys tormenting and messing with Wolverine. He's an ally who will always pretty much stab you in the back. And though he isn't related to Wolverine, I do feel like he has a similar look to his son Daken as well. And I love it when Akihiro was bad as much as I love him now being good, so it's nice to see a character who fits a similar role but with a different approach. Solem is one of the Arakko mutants and therefore is not considered to be from Earth originally. Technically not anymore because, you know, Arakko became Mars, became Arakko, and that was a whole thing that happened. Number 7. Brew. Brew is possibly one of my favorite alien mutants to have ever existed. He is very much an alien mutant in every sense of that term. Brew is a member of the Brood race, hence his name, but is unique in that he doesn't have the same instincts as other Brood. Where other Brood are actually genetically predisposed to enjoy inflicting pain on others and don't possess the ability to show empathy, Brew does. This made him a mutant. More recently, he became an even more powerful ally to the X-Men and a former member of the team when he devoured the Kree's King Egg, which was basically created to control the Brood. In so doing, Brew became the new King of the Brood. Number 6. Xandra Naramani. Xandra is the daughter of Professor Charles Xavier and Lilandra Naramani. She is probably one of the most powerful folks on our list, to be honest with you, considering she is not only an extremely gifted telepath like her father, but she also inherited the whole of the Shi'ar Empire, thanks to her birthright through her mother, Magistrax Lilandra. Xandra was actually conceived after the seeming death of both of her parents. She was created from their genetic materials and ended up hatching from an egg. Even back then, before the egg could hatch, people acknowledged how powerful this child would be. Many attempted to take the egg from Gambit and Rogue, who were charged with the egg's protection. In the end, the egg hatched and Xandra was born, searching Gambit and Rogue's minds for memories of her parents and choosing the name Xandra for herself. Number 5. Tarn the Uncaring. Tarn the Uncaring was a pretty important and powerful Iraqi mutant. Like so many others on the island, Tarn, who was also a member of the Great Ring of Arakko, moved with the rest to Mars after it was terraformed. Tarn was also known as a major antagonist in the comics, especially in the recent X-Men Red series where he played adversary to Storm. But Tarn also showed up in Hellions where he ended up as an enemy of the Hellions, or rather they ended up as an enemy of his, after being tricked by their leader Mr. Sinister into stealing genetic samples from Tarn and his Locust Vial, which obviously Tarn did not take too kindly to. Although honestly I feel like if Tarn had just stumbled upon Mr. Sinister and nothing bad had happened, he'd probably still attack him. Number 4. Storm. I know what you might be thinking, wait a minute, what? Storm is from Earth, what are you talking about, Amanda? Well, not anymore, although initially yes she was. Technically Storm is both from Earth and not from Earth, as until recently she was a citizen of Krakoa and of planet Arakko, formerly known as Mars in the comics. If you haven't been around for a while, you might not know just how much hype Storm has been getting in the comics, and hype rightfully deserved I must say in my opinion. One of the significant shifts we've seen for her character was when she became the Regent of Mars, aka planet Arakko. This isn't just a title that was given to Storm either, she actually had to fight for that title, and fight and win she did. She fought against Nameless, a member of the Great Ring of Arakko and known as the Shapeshifter Queen, in a trial by combat, and guess what? She won. She has since stepped down from the role as Regent, but it cemented her place as a fellow New Arakko affiliated mutant, hence why she's on this list. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Number 3. Vulcan. Vulcan is one of the most powerful mutants around, being an Omega level mutant skilled in energy manipulation and absorption, yet despite his insane power levels, he tends to somehow be the lesser known of all of the Summers. He has also demonstrated the ability to absorb his opponent's powers as well and use them for himself on rare occasion. Vulcan is the youngest Summers brother, also known as Gabriel or Gabe Summers, and we only learned of his existence in 2006 when he first appeared in the comic X-Men Deadly Genesis issue number 1. Yet he is considered the most powerful of the 3 brothers. Despite him technically being an Earthling or a Terran if you prefer, Vulcan mainly grew up in space, and in fact mainly grew up in kind of like a stasis accelerated growing up aging pod, where his aging was accelerated until the point of peak adolescence. He did come to Earth for a short while, only to blast off to space again however, and once again remain in a kind of stasis until the power surge from M-Day woke him up. And then he was not very happy, he was pissed, he was so upset when he woke up. Number 2. Iska the Unbeaten. Iska is truly invincible. Even the closest I have ever seen to her being beaten, she wasn't really defeated. She still won that battle. Thanks to her mutant powers, the only way she can be beaten is if by her winning, she would also lose. Sound confusing? Let me explain. Following the events of AXE and the invasion of the Eternal Uranos, who destroyed much of the planet and many of its mutant population, ended up challenging Iska to a battle of understanding. The Fisher King did this as a way of getting back at Iska, the traitor who had turned on her own people in the past and again when Uranos first attacked. And so, to beat her in his own way, knowing that he wouldn't win, he challenged her to a battle of understanding, where the winner is the one who most truly understands the meaning of loss. As you can imagine, Iska won, but at a cost. By winning, Iska was forced to feel immense grief over all that she had lost as a result of always having to be on the winning side, as per her powers. This prompted her to give up her seat on the Great Ring and seemingly leave Arakko. It's a clever bit of writing, and also served as a way to write her out for a bit, because writing a character that always wins, I'm sure that is not easy to do and to do well. Number 1. Apocalypse. Apocalypse is a weird mutant to think of as not being from Earth, considering his history so closely ties him to that of ancient Egypt, but it's true. In reality, it's believed that Apocalypse actually came from Arakko, which, while initially was kind of a part of Earth, would end up getting sealed away in Otherworld for a time, caught in kind of like a constant war, only to later be liberated and then moved to Mars, since the Arakko mutants were too troublesome to be kept on Earth's surface and didn't get along as well with the mutants based on Krakoa. So in a weird way, Apocalypse is not from Earth, even though he also kinda is. Also, I know it might seem weird that I'm putting Apocalypse above Iska, whose mutant power is, you know, to never lose, but I do feel like Apocalypse, knowing her better than most due to him being married to Iska's sister, might help him to defeat her, as the Fisher King did in a roundabout way by letting her win. I wouldn't be surprised if Apocalypse had a similar trick up his sleeve when it came to dealing with Iska should he have to. That's about it. Until next time, you stay nerdy, YouTube.